Om Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Thank you so much for joining us today. So we wanted to continue with the Damodara Leela, and this is now getting to the pinnacle of this Leela where Krishna decides that he is going to do something to sort out his hunger for mutton. So he was also very angry because his mother put him down while she was feeding him her breast milk. And he was still hungry. He'd been fasting all night. She went to attend the milk on the stove so that that service of hers can continue to serve the Lord with milk sweets and paneer and everything. But having put him down, he was looking for something to vent his anger on. How dare she put me down, give me a morsel of some little bit of milk, not enough. So he managed to find a pointed stone, which he had brought from the courtyard into the house the previous day. He used that stone to crack the churn and break apart. So he broke the churning pot, which is quite an achievement for a little guy. Casting a guilty glance in the direction of Yashoda Mai, he noted that she had not heard him and was still preoccupied in the kitchen. Pleased with his antics, Krishna had a mischievous smile on his face. Now, whenever Yashoda Mai used to look that way, to her, it would seem that everything is normal because the personality of Prem covered over what Krishna was actually doing. So she would just see a little boy playing, her little boy playing, but actually he was up to a lot of mischief. However, the churn cracked into two, right? It cracked into two. And all the yogurt and butter contained therein spilled onto the floor, as did the yogurt in the pot he broke. So now it was broken. It was on the floor. This made Krishna even more angry. And he splashed the spilled contents here and there. He resolved to raid the storeroom because that what was in the churn now he was not able to enjoy that because it was broken. There was broken pieces of clay, and it was all on the floor. Difficult to distinguish the yogurt and the butter. They thought, okay, I know my mother has made makhan the day before. He decided, I'm going to raid the storeroom. This is where the makhan is kept. The storehouse or storeroom was adjoining the kitchen. It was here that Yashoda Mai stored cooking supplies such as wheat, rice, spices, milk products in clay pots, hanging from the ceiling. The room was dark and cool. And Krishna also knew where the keys were kept. He was a really clever little boy. For Krishna, this was going into unknown territory. He was entering uncharted waters. Never before had he been so daring. Although he knew where everything was, he was just a little tentative to do anything at home, any mischief at home. Although he was ruthless at his neighbors' homes, he was always careful not to upset his mother at home. Right? He knew good domestic conduct assured him of her royal protection from village complaints. So, but his mood now changed. He didn't care. He was scared, but he was more preoccupied with the lack of content in his stomach of any makhan or milk. finding the key. And the key was in Mother Yashoda's, in one of her cupboards in her bedroom. So it was not an easy thing to find, let alone get hold of. But he's resourceful. I mean, after all, he creates the whole material universe, billions of universes with such sophistication. And he sets up laws such as the law of karma, which can find whoever's done the deed, it'll find that opposite and or the relevant reaction to come to that person, wherever that person is. So for him to find the key is not that difficult. He slipped it into the storeroom door lock and turned it. After opening the door, which he was doing very tentatively, because this is really uncharted territory. He'd never done this before. He entered the storeroom. He closed the door behind him. It was pitch black, but not for long. Invoking his divine effulgence, Krishna lit up the storeroom. He looked at the many pots hanging from the ceiling. They were too high for him to reach. He found a tall mortar. So a mortar is basically something like a wooden structure which is used to grind spices and things like that. So he found a tall mortar in which his mother would grind spices. And he used that mortar to reach the pots hanging from the ceiling. So there you go. He's on this wooden grinding mortar, reaching out to the pots. Removing a few pots with great effort. And this personality is the one from whom Garbhodakshaya Vishnu comes. Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, from his navel sprouts this lotus upon which Lord Brahma is born, who creates the universe. So what great effort. Removing a few pots with great effort, Krishna placed them on the ground. And then he crawled to the ground. Finally, he had what he wanted. Yesterday's freshly churned butter. Now he was happy. Ripping off the cloth covering, he sampled the butter from each pot. It wasn't just one pot, it was a few pots. The taste of the butter was incredible. It was not like any other butter because it was Yashoda Mai's love for him in the form of dairy. So this makhan is incomparable to the makhan which is made by the maidservants of the gopis of Vrindavan. This is just very, very deeply ingrained with the love of Mother Yashoda. So it tastes something else, something different. Krishna continued to savor the butter, but he restrained himself from eating too much. He was thinking, if I overeat, the effect of this butter will subdue me, making me submissive to Mother, and thus no more stealing, no more mischief.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Hare Bol, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Hare Sitaram here, Prabhu. You know, I'm leaving the meeting. You know, my brother is very, very ill. He's in the hospital. I don't think I think my brother phoned me telling me that he's leaving his body.
Okay. So tell me his name. What is his name?
His name is Sekal.
Sekal. Okay.
We should pray for your brother, Prabhuji. We shall pray for your brother.
Yeah, we'll pray.
Okay, thank you very much, Mataji Prabhu. Everyone, Hare Krishna.
Go to the hospital, take care of him, huh?
Yes, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Thank you for joining, Hare Krishna.
Okay.
And thus, no more stealing and no more mischief. This brings the pastime to an end. So he would become a goody two-shoes if he ate too much of his mother's butter, because the love was so intense in that butter. He would just come under the control of Yashoda Mai. He wouldn't do anything naughty. This was the reason he stole the neighbor's milk products and not his mother's. The neighbor's produce lacked the intensity of Yashoda Mai's love, and thus it lacked the same controlling power. He could eat that makhan as much as he wanted. Good, thank you. So this bhajan is very beautiful. A couple of days ago, Karuna sang Chaurastakam, and it's such a glorious, glorious bhajan. And I think it'd be nice just to read this translation. We won't sing the bhajan because she's not here and we struggle, but we can read the translation. Naniben, would you like to read the translation?
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you. Yeah, okay. Yes. I offer my respectful obeisances to that foremost of thieves, who is famous in the Braj as the butter thief, and he who steals the gopis' clothes, and who, for those who take shelter of him, steals the sins which have accrued over many lifetimes. I offer my respectful obeisances to the foremost of thieves, who steals Srimati Radhika's heart, who steals the dark luster of a fresh rain cloud, and who steals all the sins and sufferings of those who take shelter of his feet. He turns his surrendered devotees into paupers and wandering homeless beggar. Alas, such a fearsome thief has never been seen or heard of in all the three worlds. Mere utterance of his name purges one of a mountain of sins. Such an astonishingly wonderful thief I have never seen or heard of anyone. O thief, having stolen my wealth, my honor, my senses, my life, and my everything, where can you turn to? I have caught you with the rope of my devotion. You cut the terrible noose of Amraj. You sever the dreadful noose of material existence, and you slash everyone's material bondage, but you are unable to cut the knot fastened by your own loving devotees. O stealer of my everything, O thief, today I have imprisoned you in the miserable prison house of my heart, which is very fearful due to the terrible darkness of my ignorance. And there, for a very long time, you will remain, receiving appropriate punishment for your own crimes of thievery. O Krishna, thief of my everything, the noose of my devotion remaining forever tight, you will continue to reside in the prison house of my heart, because I will not release you for millions of eons. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Nariman. This is this fantastic bhajan, Chora, which describes his mood, how he steals our hearts, actually. The main thing is he steals.
Let us sing the first line, Prabhuji.
This one?
Yes.
Okay, let's try.
Yeah.
Raje Prashidam Navnita Choram Gopagananam Chadukala Choram Aneka Janmajita Papa Choram Choragaganyam Purusham Namami Radhikaya Hridayasachoram Navambuddhasham Malakanti Choram Padashisham Chasamastachoram Choragraganyam Purusham Namami Akinchan Kriya Padashritam Karoti Bhikshum Patigeya Hivinam Kenapya Hobisha Nachorayedre Drishta Shushova Najagatayapi Yadiyanamapi Aradhya Sesham Giri Prasharan Apipacharasin Ascharya Rupo Nanuchorya Edre Drishto Shrutova Namaya Kadapi Danam Chamanam Tetendriyani Pranam Sharitva Amsavadeva Palyasya Itondya Chora Tvam bhakti damnasi maya niruda. Chinasti goram yam pasha param. Pinnasti bhimam bhava pasha bandam. Chinasti sarvasya samasa bandam. Nevata mano bhakta kitam tu bandam. Manase nama sarasi sore karagriya dukha maya nibada. Labasvahi chora Vechiraya Svachorya dosha chitam eva dandam Kagragva sada Adi Madbhakti pasha veda Mandanishchalya san Tam Krishna Ekaya Koti Santantepi Sarvasya Chora Hidayam Nai Muchami.
Chorastakam ki.
Jai.
Very well sung, very nice, Mataji.
Thank
Well
you.
done.
You sing really nice. Very nice.
Thank you.
Prabhuji and Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Hare
I wanted to suggest something. I mean, if you don't mind.
Sure.
You know, when Karuna is singing, I know she's singing very nice,
Mm.
but like if we put our sorry, the what is
Sound.
called the
Sound.
sound, yeah, and we can try with her. I mean,
Because in Zoom, it echoes. The timing isn't quite right. So when we record it, it doesn't sound right, you know.
okay, it's fine.
But
Thank
yeah,
you.
I know what you mean, though. It's
Yeah.
good to practice. Mm.
Yeah, practice this, right? Yeah, because like when you're in the bhajan kirtan, one is singing and then everybody
Then
is
it's repeating.
singing
Yeah.
behind. Yeah.
Yeah,
But
on
this
Zoom, it
is all
doesn't
right.
quite work. Yeah, it doesn't quite work.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Krishna could therefore freely plunder their homes without fear of being a docile goat, a do-gooder, and the laughing stock of his friends. But this morning, Krishna's anger insulated him from the domesticating effects of his mother's butter. In ecstasy, he was relishing the special taste of her labor, although he was acutely aware that mother could show up at any moment. There was also a problem. As he was relishing the special treat, it caused his anger to subside, giving rise to the fear of his mother's reaction to the mayhem he has caused. He thought, what will happen when mother sees the mess I've made?
Look at him.
Tears began welling up in his eyes, flowing down his cheeks. Who knows what she will do? With thoughts of punishment surfacing in his mind, Krishna sought escape. The nearest door led to the grand hall where the guards are stationed. That they will raise the alarm, not a good escape route. The only other way out was back through the kitchen and the bedding chamber, and then down the back staircase to the courtyard. Krishna carefully opened the door and, holding the pots of butter to his chest, he passed through the open space. Afraid to look in the direction of his mother, Krishna followed his own buttery footsteps, which he left wherever he went, shedding false tears as insurance against being caught. He noticed that she had just finished cleaning up. When he reached the broken churn, he was thrilled by his good work and stumped around in the spilled produce for good measure. Then, feeling very satisfied with himself, he left through the back door, down the stairs, onto the courtyard. So this is text number 7 of Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th canto, 9th chapter.
Tarya Gopeshu Sratam Paya Punaha Pravishya Samdrishya Chadadadi Amatikam Bhaganam Vilokya Swasutasya Karmataj Jahasatam Chapi Natatra Pashyati. Translation: Mother Yashoda, after taking down the hot milk from the oven, returned to the churning spot. When she saw that the container of yogurt was broken, like Krishna was not present, she concluded that the breaking of the pot was the work of Krishna.
So there was nobody else to blame. When Krishna was busy with his divine mischief, his mother saved most of the milk from overflowing, placing the heavy pot off the fire, cleaning the stove. She then mopped the spilt milk from the floor. She did this as lovingly as she would bathe her son, with the conviction that everything in the house was for Krishna's service, and thus it was as important as him. Occasionally, he would glance over to see what Krishna was doing, and Krishna's internal potency arranged that when she saw him, playing on the floor before an intact churn, patiently waiting for a return. Such a good boy. That's what she was seeing, because Krishna had made that arrangement. Yashoda Mai finally returned to her churning pot and stopped dead in her tracks at what she saw. And she exclaimed, "Vishnu, Vishnu, what is this? What has happened?" She couldn't believe her eyes. At first, she thought that the yogurt had sipped through the pot, and because they're made of clay. But then she noticed the churn had been deliberately broken. It wasn't broken a minute ago. So there she is, shocked. What the heck is going on? Who dared do such a thing? Yashoda Mai remained hesitant to blame her little boy, but no one else was present. Besides, who else could be so clever? This brief admiration of her son gave way to the realization that what the neighbors have been saying about her beloved son is completely correct. He is naughty. So where is he? She ran to the bedroom chamber and beyond that to her dressing area. He was in neither place. Returning to the churning pot, she saw scattered footprints and yogurt handprints on the wall everywhere. But where was he? Not wanting to believe that her son may be involved in this mayhem. But then it dawned on her that Krishna must be the culprit. And in fear of punishment, he has run away. She smiled at the naughtiness, cleverness, and subsequent flight of her darling son. Yashoda Mai began to follow Krishna's delicate footprints. And as she did, her motherly pride grew with every step. So there you go, there's the little footprints. She's trying to follow him. He's in the house somewhere. Where is he?
So sweet.
Making a show of false anger, she mused, the pranks of my son are unlimited. His every movement increases his pride, and his every theft increases his bliss. Although his acts disrupt our village, there is also a festival of joy for everyone, especially me. Yashoda Mai saw the storeroom door ajar and her key dangling from the lock. How dare he steal my keys from my private dressing room? Opening the storeroom door wide, she was greeted by a band of panicky crows that had invaded the storeroom through a window and set upon her exposed produce. Her whole stock had become contaminated. Counting the pots, she realized one was missing. She was amazed. At first, she tried to bring some order to the storeroom, collecting the broken parts, etc. But it was too much for one person. What a big mess. How did he manage to make such a mess? Leaving the mess behind, Yashoda Mai continued searching. She peeked out of a window and saw in the courtyard Krishna standing on a large upturned wooden mortar. clapping his hands to catch the attention of the nearby monkeys. Yashoda Mai couldn't believe it, the tenacity of the boy. She watched as the monkeys fearlessly approached Krishna, who sat on the mortar and placed the pot in his lap. Dipping into the pot, scooping out a handful of yogurt, he swallowed half and threw the rest to the nearest monkey. All the others crowded around. There you go. Of course, he's simply repaying the monkeys for the debt he owes them. Because when he came as Ramachandra, they helped him find Sita and defeat Ravan. Krishna was anxiously looking here and there in case his mother came running after him. Mother, unable to suppress her joy, covered her mouth to keep from laughing. She was amazed. The monkeys and Krishna have a natural affinity for each other. By associating too much with those mischief mongers, my son has become as mischievous as a monkey. She's blaming the monkeys. Krishna was, of course, repaying a long-standing debt to the monkeys who assisted him when he came as Ram. But Krishna knew that he had crossed all borders, all boundaries, and mother will have no sympathy for him when she finds him. So let's do one more. Number 8, verse number 8.
Kulukalangher upari vyavastitam markaya kamam dadatam sichistitam hayangavam chorya vishanketik shanam nirikshya pashyat sutam agamat janahe. Translation: Krishna at that time was sitting on an upside down wooden mortar for grinding spices and was distributing milk preparations such as yogurt and butter to the monkeys as he liked. Because of having stolen, he was looking all around with great anxiety, suspecting that he might be chastised by his mother. Mother Yashoda, upon seeing him, very cautiously approached him from behind.
Yashoda is cautiously, so as not to slip on the buttery remnants, follows Krishna's footprints down the stairs towards the courtyard. Although Krishna is the intelligence of the most intelligent, he mistakenly sat with his back to the house, giving his mother the added advantage of sneaking up on him. As mother came into the courtyard, she noticed her husband's jeweled walking stick against the wall. He must have forgotten it. She grabbed the stick, thinking, I will not hurt him, but I will give him a good scare. Krishna was alerted. His mother was coming. There you go. There she is. She's coming with the stick. Monkeys are being fed by Krishna. Krishna has got his back to the courtyard, to the door of the entrance into the courtyard, or exit into the courtyard. Terrible mistake. Mother Yashoda's after him. He spun around, saw his mother with the stick. He was shocked. He did a double take. Did she really have a stick in her hands? He knew that punishment was inevitable, but a stick? She had used a stick previously to chase away the monkeys and herd the cows, but never to discipline him. Is she really coming, threatening me with a stick? Jumping from the mortar and landing on his chubby feet, Krishna had another look at his mother. Was this all real? Is she really coming at me with a stick? This is the Supreme Personality of Godhead being chased by Mother Yashoda.
Tamatayastem prashamikshya satvaras tatovuru yapasasara vitavat gopyanuva anudvavam nayamapayoginam shamam pravistam tapasheritam manaha. Translation: When Lord Shri Krishna saw his mother stick in hand, he very quickly got down from the top of the mortar, began to flee as if very much afraid. Although yogis try to capture him as Paramatma by meditation, desiring to enter into the effulgence of the Lord with great austerities and penances, they fail to reach him. But Mother Yashoda, thinking that same personality of Godhead Krishna to be her son, began following Krishna to catch him.
So these pastimes are very, very sweet. The idea is the Lord performs these sweet pastimes to attract us to his personality. He already loves us, but he won't force us to love him. He wants us to love him for who he is, a naughty cowherd boy. And this is exactly what Mother Yashoda loves him for, as well as the gopis. They don't love him because he's God. He's a supreme Lord. We have to love him. In order to get anything out of him, we have to love him. No, they love him as a little boy. They don't want anything from him. He's a little boy. What are you going to ask from a little boy? They just love him. And this is what Krishna really appreciates. That love is what conquers his heart. It's because because that love is not motivated. Otherwise, if we are thinking he's the supreme and we're worshiping him, there's a motivation there because he's God, we're worshiping him. But here he's worshipped as Krishna, as he is. He is God, but they're not thinking that he's God. They don't want anything from him. They just want to please him. They want to just love him. They just want to do something for him rather than take something from him. This is what makes Krishna love being in Vrindavan. In Dwarka, when he goes there, he feels everybody wants a piece of him. Nobody wants to give, they just want to take. So in Vrindavan, this is where his heart lies. This is where his pure devotees are. They just want to share wonderful pastimes with Krishna without anything back in return. They just want to give him pleasure without taking anything from him. So this is what makes Vrindavan very unique, the Vrindavan pastimes very unique, and particularly this pastime, very unique. So I wanted to stop there and we can continue tomorrow. The chase, we can continue with the chase. So today we covered his pastime as a thief. Tomorrow we'll continue the pastime as him being chased by Mother Yashoda. Because it all happened tomorrow on the day of Diwali. So yes, Nari.
Prabhuji,
Yes.
this, I think after, I don't know much, but after all the Krishna Leelas, this must be the best one.
It certainly is right
best
up
one.
there. Yeah.
Right up. Because as a little boy, such a beautiful little boy, with all the mischief and his thinking, and then Yashoda Mai running after him. I mean, in other pictures, everybody wants him, but here, he's running away from people. He's running away from his own mother. So it is, and such a sweet little boy with little footsteps here and there and monkeys. And so this must, I feel this is the best pastimes of Krishna.
I think you're right.
Sweetest pastime.
Sweet pastime, yes.
And if you see, Sukadev Goswami, he dedicates pretty much 2 chapters to this pastime. So it shows the importance. Other pastimes, he will give a few verses, but this one, he gives, like a lot of chapters, 2 chapters to it, which is absolutely incredible. Really amazing pastime.
And so many acharyas commented on this pastime in length as well.
So many books have been written. Every single moment is relished, in its own capacity. And so many lessons to learn from these pastimes as well. And the main thing, sorry, go on.
Yes, and the monkeys of the Vrindavan are still as naughty as ever.
Yeah.
I think
Indeed.
they're still learning from what Krishna was doing and how naughty he was. So they are very naughty.
We're following in that footsteps.
Yes, yeah.
As, I was listening to a lecture about that, and he was saying that when they take your glasses or whatever, it's Krishna is trying to teach you that you shouldn't be even attached to your glasses. Anything can be taken away in Vrindavan from you.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. And these pastimes actually make you very affectionate towards the Lord, because he allows himself to be, caught and bound by his mother. Even though he's a Supreme Lord, he's so humble. It's not that I am the Supreme Lord, how dare you tie me to this wooden mortar. I mean, he does say that to Mother Yashoda, how dare you tie, but he's saying it as a little boy, not as the Supreme Lord.
No.
So, this is the humility of God. And that's why he likes devotees who are humble, because he himself is humble. If devotees become proud, it doesn't really suit them, and Krishna doesn't become very happy. So, anything else, Nariman? Anything else, Nariman?
And no, it's just you want to. I mean, they say that his pastimes are eternal and everlasting, evergreen.
Ever
They
fresh.
are
Yeah,
definitely. Every time you see it, it makes you smile.
Yeah, makes you laugh. Yeah, that's right. Ever fresh. Very good. Very nice. Good point. Yeah, good point. Prabhaben, anything from your side?
To be honest with you, I fall asleep
Okay.
because
Tired.
sometimes, to be honest, I mean, I can't. I like to watch it, but looking in the screen,
Yeah,
then
yeah.
all of a sudden my eyes
You're
started
tired.
to
Yeah.
close. I don't know why it's happened, but I tried to leave it open. Now I fall asleep. I don't know. I heard up to he went to he was stilling, and then he stand on those pots and he was stilling the thing. Then the mother saw the footstep everywhere, and mother
Yes.
said,
Yes.
"Who broke this?" Up to there, and then I fall asleep. So I'm sorry.
No, that's
I
okay.
haven't got nothing to say.
No problem. No problem.
Yeah.
Okay.
I will hear this again in the night
Yeah.
time.
Okay. No, thank you
Yeah.
so much. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. But I'm enjoying.
Thank you. No, thank you.
You can catch up on the YouTube, Mataji. It's very relishing pastime.
Yeah, that's what I do.
Yeah,
Mataji, I do what you
Yeah.
say me. I'm cooking and I put the YouTube on and I'm
Yeah.
listening.
Mhm.
So
That's what I do.
I will not like listening and cooking together
good.
is doing good.
Yeah, that is good. That is very good.
Good, yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so
Just
much.
another question.
I'm not watching it, I'm not sitting and watching. I'm
Yeah.
listening. So it's really nice.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Hare
Mataji and
Krishna. Thank
Prabhuji.
you. Thank you. Yes, Nani?
Prabhuji,
Yeah.
when you went to Rakhi and Harish's place, have they had a baby now?
No.
No.
I thought we could hear some little
Oh,
one.
they had a lot of guests. Yeah, they had a lot of guests. So
Of
Oh,
children.
no baby yet, no children yet. Oh,
no, I don't think they're
No.
planning. So
they're not planning.
I'm not sure, but
I thought they wanted one when we last spoke.
oh, maybe.
Oh,
But yeah, they're pretty staunch devotees. Who knows?
yes.
Yes. Thank you for sharing yesterday's Aarti and
Oh yeah, no, amazing.
some drama program, which was nice.
Yeah,
Lot of people, eh?
yeah, it was a good
Yeah.
crowd. It was a good crowd.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, worked out good.
Very nice. Very nice.
Thank you.
Mataji, you need to sleep. You look very sleepy, Mataji.
I tell you, I don't sleep in the afternoon.
Ah.
I